I'm Debbie, the researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best. There's been a lot of discussion out there about make it happen or let it happen. And lots of people on both sides of the fence on which way is best.
Well, interesting you bring it up, Judy, because we looked at that some years back. I had a golfer in putting all hooked up and everything, and so I see the guy just putting them in one after another, and then he missed one and it shook him up, and he immediately went into make it happen. He was bound and determined. Not only did he miss the putt, but it was short and none of the rest. So he goes into make it happen, and I looked at his brain, and his whole left side is on fire, and there's not much going on the right side. So in this particular situation, we just put him on a bike and had him pedal for 3 minutes, got off, got back on that putting green, and sunk 5 out of 5 12-foot putts in a row. And the right side of his brain was so beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think what happens, like sometimes when we talk about dialing up the intensity, for example, it gets taken the wrong way, and I call it a turbo. So they do this turbo shot where they just put all this adrenaline and energy into it, and they think that's dialing up the intensity, and it gets them in trouble.
Force.
And I look at that as very much like make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. I get this like sense of I'm going to do something that's really big and just big.
Right. And we could also throw in that little word will, because I think they get convoluted as well. And will is totally different. Will is all up here, but this part down here is going to be just beautiful. So the words are important, but the key, I think, Judy, is, how do we get from make it happen to let it happen?
Well, I think that's the big secret, right?
Right.
To so many people. And I think it comes to that there's a certain amount of preparation that you're doing. You're putting your things in place for that shot to be a great shot, to create an amazing shot. And there's work that you do, but there is a moment in time where you have to turn it over to the subconscious to do it. And when you can do that, sort of a letting go of the control of that shot, you've now passed it to the subconscious, and that's letting it happen.
I think you're right. We call it, sometimes they use a switching cue, or a little motion that kicks it over. Or like I'll have the player, sometimes they'll look at the target, bring their eyes back, and totally disconnect from it for just a half a second. So it allows their team, that subconscious, to swing the club, and it works amazing. It's scary as can be, but it works.
And we call that the blur. When you allow the target to kind of blur out and not be so important, that is often the switching to, I'm going to trust my subconscious to do it.
So find your own, whatever works for you, to let them take over, because they're really good.